Sunanuha. Qiyamu ala al-mimbar, yani the recommended acts to stand on the mimbar. Al-tahara, the khutbah itself, you can give, don't ever do this, but the khutbah itself, you can give without wudu. As-salam ala nas, if you've seen, the imam usually comes and says, As-salam alaikum. So if he forgets, okay, he missed the recommended act. Al-i'timad ala shay, some of the, if you've seen, I think in NBAC they do this, they have a stick to lean on something, is one of the sunnahs. Taqsiruha, there's a hadith that actually talks about it. From the fiqh of a person is to shorten the prayer and elongate the qira'ah. So the sunnah is to shorten the khutbah and to elongate the prayer. This one can be very, because the only time you get to give any nasiha in our day and time is this Jummah. So if I give that for 5 minutes, that's all we get. But like I said, the sunnah itself, generally, you want to keep it.
Because I had a funny episode at my workplace. The brother gave a very short khutbah, and people have the habit of showing up late.
Oh, they missed it?
They showed up and it's all over already.
No, the hadith itself is very straightforward. It's from the fiqh of a person that he keeps the khutbah short and the prayer long. But today, most people do the opposite.
One question on the timing of this. So, for example, in this masjid, the third one, especially you mentioned in the winter time, it does get past
Pretty.
the time of Dhuhr from the Shafi'i and
Really?
yes.
Oh, subhanAllah.
So, and if not, it's extremely close.
It gets very cold.
It's very. So, what do you do?
You have to advise the admin on this one. But the reality is, generally, I'm not telling them in general. Most masajids have not studied the concept of Jum'ah's ruling. This is just the reality. But like I said, any person who takes a position of power and he's responsible for certain things, that knowledge becomes an obligation. If he is the one choosing the Khateeb and he doesn't know the rulings of khutbah, he should not be the one selecting the Khateeb. I mean, think about it. How many people write, okay, can you give the khutbah today? If you ask the brother, have you studied the rulings of Jummah? There's a good chance you'll get a no. So any person who's responsible for choosing the Khateeb, that knowledge becomes an obligation. As I mentioned last time, if you're going to go for Hajj, then the knowledge of the rulings of Hajj becomes an obligation. If you're going to go for fasting, you need to, obviously, all of us fast, so you need to make sure you know the rulings of fasting.
So in this case, let's say if you generally follow the timing that comes early.
Yep.
But can you make an exception in this case to follow the Hanafi Masjid to have the delay?
I mean, would I do it myself? No. Because the majority are they like to pray early. They don't. This is a position of the Ahnaf. Then you're missing out the whole community, and you stick to one position, right? And you want to make sure you stay on the safe side when you deal with a large community. Whenever you deal with a large crowd, you want to choose always the safer position. So if I come and say, let's pray Jum'ah at 10 o'clock, would these be acceptable to the community at large? You will just be like, no. So usually when you deal with a huge community, you want to be on the safe side. So in that case, there is no issues. It is something I have noticed that myself, and I must have told even one of the brothers, but we need to change the time. And they wait usually for 1 or 2 weeks, and then it becomes a little bit easy. So
the problem here is they can't push it
further
a while because people object. Now they push it the other side, so it goes the other end, so you're stuck.
The only way out of this is if they keep the Jum'ah like 20 minutes every Jum'ah. But I've seen most people, mashallah, they like to give long khutbahs. Okay, the last part, last three, I would say. Al-julus ila faragh al-adhan wa bayn al-khutbatayn. So when somebody gives the adhan, it is from the sunnah to sit down and sunnah to sit between the two khutbahs. So if the person just stands, if he just says, أقول قولي هذا أستغفر لي ولكم وسائر المؤمنين من كل ذنب فاستغفروا إنه غفور رحيم. He doesn't sit. And then again he says, Alhamdulillah wa salatu wa salam ala Rasulillah. He's fulfilled the shurut, yani the arkan, I mean. He's fulfilled the pillars of the khutbah, because sitting itself is a recommended act, but to break the khutbah into two is generally the pillar. So if he sits, alhamdulillah, he's fulfilled the recommended. Ad-du'a lil-Muslimin, Allahumma maghfir lil-mu'minina wal-mu'minat wal-muslimina wal-muslimat. This is one. And istiqbalun nas, to face the people, is from the Sunnah. So if you are a pure Hanbali, what's the bare minimum you need to have to start Jummah? Let's see who was listening. If you're a Hanbali, let's say pure Hanbali, how many people do you need to start Jummah? 40. Do you have to have tahara to give khutbah? Jayyid. What about facing the Qibla? Which is the Sunnah? Is facing the Qibla or facing the people? Jayyid.
How many Sunnah you have to pray before and after?